Page 37, Mary Ann. On page 36, they're introducing the B in the right hand. We've already had it in the left hand. It's the same thing now, only it's for the right hand. The note, I mean, you've been in C position, okay? You've been down here. I'm going to use this as an example because my belly gets in the way here. And what we do is, like the little finger has to cover multiple notes, well the thumb does too. Alright? And that's what it is. It's just a G7 chord played in the right hand. You had it in the left hand. Same thing. You got to be able to play these chords in either hand, and that's really all this is. Alright? Whoopie-doo. Okay? Just know it. Know what the notes are. Alright? There's more to a G7 chord than what they're telling you. That's why I'm not going into what the notes are. Just know this pattern. You're here, and here, and here. That's what you need to know now. All right? You're going to get it a lot. It's used all over the place, so just memorize it. In Mary Ann, we get to do this because the melody's in the left hand, and the right hand gets all these fancy chords. Isn't that fun? So you're going to bring out the melody. Now, again, they're helping you out with the dynamics. I don't think that's necessary. All we need in this piece is an MF in the middle between the staves, and that tells you the melody is medium loud. Don't need anything else unless you want something different for the melody. But what they've done is the last measure of the first line above the staff, the top staff, they put the P up there. Now they put it up there instead of between them because there's words in this and they didn't want things get a bit crowded, all right? So they put it up there. Unnecessary in my opinion, but that's what they've done. Okay. Now this is the first thing we've had, I think, that has words to it, so you can sing along with it if you want. You can sing along. The key word is you. I ain't singing, but you can sing if you want. Doesn't matter to me, I can't hear you. I recommend you learn the notes first and then go back and add the singing afterward. I want to remind you about the tied note. Look at it's the last two measures of each line. It's the same. It's different notes, but it's the same rhythm. In the left hand, you have a quarter note, a half note, and then a whole note. Right? But the half note and the whole note are tied together. Right? Two notes, same pitch or same key tied together. Right? So you're going to play the half note and hold it down for 6 counts. You don't play the whole note again. You're holding the half note down for the whole thing. So if I demonstrate the last two measures of the first line, it's this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right? I'm holding the F down for all of that mess. Now there's one little bit of trickiness going on in the left hand I want to bring to your attention because it's important. You can look at the second or fourth lines, it doesn't matter, it's the same thing. First two measures. You're in C position, so the fourth finger's playing the D. The second finger plays the two Fs. Now look at that, you have a B. Now you got to reach down with your little finger. You're not moving the hand around. You're just reaching down with a little finger to get the B. And now the next note, the D, you're playing with the fourth finger. This can get tricky, especially if your hands are smaller. But I would encourage you to do it. The idea of using fourth and fifth fingers when the notes are an interval of a third in either hand is very common, all right? And when we get into arpeggios, it's going to be very important. So when you're playing this, make sure you leave the hand where it is, just lower the little finger down, and then play the next note with the fourth finger. Now, to help you out a little bit, I don't do a lot on technique, all right? But I will from time to time try and explain a little bit. It's hard to teach technique when I can't see you to see what you're actually doing to know what to say. So I can only kind of explain it in a general term and hope you understand enough to be able to do it. When I play a piano, I don't hold my wrist still and push the notes down with the fingers. Now, back in the 1700s and before, that was the way to do it. They would put a coin on the wrist and make them, don't let the coin fall off. You hold everything still, right? Yeah. Wrong. Or I won't say it's wrong, it's just changed. The technique has evolved over the last few hundred years, and it's much better. Technique I learned in college and what I taught was called a weight distribution. You let the weight of the hand and the arm help you play the piano, because the muscles in the fingers are small and they get tired very quickly. So we don't need to overdo them, right? You get tendonitis and all kinds of nonsense going on. What we want to do is I'm going to let the hand and the arm play the note, basically. And really all I have to do is lift up the other fingers. I just leave one finger down that I want to play, and the other finger's got to get out of the way. So when I play the second line, I start with the fourth finger. It's the fourth finger, and I'm lifting the other fingers up, and I'm just dropping it. It's here. I'm dropping the whole hand down. Then when I play the F, I'm going to lift the fourth finger up and let the index finger, I'm going to drop down on the index finger. What I do is I just roll the weight from one finger to another. So I'm going from here to here, here to here. It's a very small movement. I'm exaggerating, but that's the idea. It's the weight. I'm not using the strength of the finger to try and push it down. I'm more or less pulling it down with the weight of the hand and the arm. Okay, so then on the second measure, when I go to the fifth finger, I'm just transferring the weight to the fifth finger. Right? And then when I do the fourth finger, I'm just transferring the weight. I'm not trying to use these fingers to, I'm just transferring it. I'm rolling it, rotating it. And when I play, this goes on all the time. I'm just transferring weight from one finger to the other. All right? When you get real quick, you see a professional, they're playing real quick in here, they're using fingers, all right, to do that, all right, because there comes a time when you go fast enough where you pretty much, there's a limit to transferring weight, all right, but for the most part, transfer the weight. Just try and get into it. Go do my scale on C major, do the beginner part of it, and as you're doing the scale, in the hands, transfer the weight from one key to the other. Try and get into that. Let's try this out and see. 4/4 time. There's no repeat. We're just going to play it once. And of course we're in C position still. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.